Hey guys, it's been a while since I've seen you. What's up, man? Eric Ellison back at it, man. You can see we're in a lovely place. We're going to do something that's never been done before in the Southeast MMA scene, and that is we're going to take a look at the latest card from Conflict right here from Hawaii. That's right, you're getting it live, broadcast streamed to you from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. What I wanted to do today, since you're here visiting, thank you. I'm sorry if the plane tickets were expensive. Is go over these title fights, man. There's some epic matches. And let's kick it off with Malik Harris and David Devant. They had a fight of the year last year, and since that time, Malik Harris has gone on to gain the Conflict title, and now here he is a year later facing the last guy and only guy, if I'm recalling correctly, to defeat him in David Devant. Got a lot of CTC guys on this card, so we know Devant's coming in well prepared. Probably the best Devant that he's ever been. It's been a long time since we've seen David fight, so interested to see where that goes. And one thing that we do know is that Harris is more lit and hungrier than ever since he got this title. I think that there's a lot of aspect of this that is about proving, whether to the self, to others. I think Harris was a little bit thrown off a bit. We'll say that Devant got a title shot after coming back after a while, but Conflict MMA does such great matchmaking, and they take the fans into such consideration that this was really like the fight to make. There's been so much talk, so many fans are stoked about this, that these two guys are coming back, and you've got somebody like Devant who beat Harris before in a very close, super close fight. Was there for it live. Took him out, so he's got to have a lot of feelings on his side about this title. He's one fight away, and he's fighting someone that he defeated already. Malik Harris, he's got to look like this is a chance for him to get revenge, a chance to show how much he's grown, and it's certainly a chance to show that he is in fact the best in his division and defend that title. Some people think you're not a champ till you defend the title, and here we go. An epic match, and just one of the reasons to be at Conflict 31, which is going down in Hardeeville this weekend, matter of fact, the 24th, at the Music Vault. You guys have been there. It's one of the best places for MMA. It's like going to one, you remember when Gallagher used to come out and smash watermelons, and if you were sitting up close, you had to wear stuff to keep, the liquid from spraying you? Same kind of thing, man. You guys are like so up close, like each punch, man. I mean, I've been hit with blood a couple of times being at these shows. So anyway, next up we got Carl Crawford. Got some more CTC action coming in to challenge Lindsey Jones, who won his title in his last match. I believe it was in Augusta. Not 100% sure, but I believe so. Lindsey Jones, great fighter, really sharp with his strikes. So we're going to see him come in and take on Carl Crawford. Now, this is a durable guy. He kind of reminds me of Matt Hughes. He gets in there, he gets after. There's just no relent. He's got a great grinding style, good hands, solid chin, great cardio. He's a big guy. And I really think this is going to be a big test for Lindsey Jones. And I think, obviously, Carl as the challenger going to be a test for him. He's going to be fueled by that CTC fire they got going in, along with some other great teams. Definitely not the only team mentality on the card. But Carl Crawford versus Lindsey Jones is really going to shine a light at 170. And I think it's going to make a big statement about what we can expect in 2016 for that division. So make sure to tune into that, because that, in my opinion, is the most unpredictable fight of the title fights. After that, we move on to probably one of the most talked about fights of the year since it was announced, and that's Mark Trader versus Kobe Wall. Now, Kobe Wall is a longtime defending Conflict champion. He's a great finisher. He's a great member of the fight community, an awesome fighter. He's probably one of the most decorated and experienced amateur fighters and champs that I've ever come across. He's got 10, 12 amateur fights. He's something like 12-1 or this effect. Great finisher. He's finished, I think, his last 5 opponents, 6, 7, I don't know, a lot of them. He's recently knocked down 3 what people keep considering the best in our region. You know, guys like Lamar Brown, Bart Weeks. He keeps taking them on time and time again. We saw him last, I think it was Conflict 28, maybe Conflict 29. He fought Bart Weeks in an awesome title fight that saw Weeks, you know, have, you know, from where I was sitting, the slight advantage over 5 rounds. Didn't win all 5, but it was holding the advantage. It looked like we were going towards a Bart Weeks decision and a new champ. And then what do you know? Kobe Wall pulls it out with a beautiful, beautiful submission that once again shows why he's the king of the hill. And coming in to face him this Saturday is going to be Mark Trader, one of the most exciting, enigmatic, and I think influential fighters in the 145 and 155 weight class. You know, Mark Trader's one of these guys that, like, everybody seems to want to fight him. Everybody seems to want to fight Mark Trader. I don't know whether that's because they feel like a win over Mark Trader means a whole lot, or they feel like his appraisals are unjust. I don't know what it is, but Mark Trader's an amazing fighter, and he has continued to show why he is deserved of everything that gets said about him. He's got amazing comeback skills. He's got some of the best ground game and some of the sharpest striking that we've seen in the amateur division. And now that he's joined up with American Top Team, it's going to be really, really amazing to see what he brings to the table in this next fight, along with the addition of having not to cut so much weight. I'm really excited for that. Kobe Wall might be the bigger fighter, but we've got both guys who are proven finishers. They're extreme fighters, go out on their shield, do or die mentality type of guys. You know, this is not going to be a fight where somebody gets hit and goes down with the tappy taps. These guys are going to throw down. It could very well just have said, like, Trader versus Wall, like, to the almost death underneath it, you know. So if you don't have your tickets, or the other title fights I haven't talked about weren't enough for you already, check this out, because I think it's going to be the most exciting and explosive ending of all the fights. Whatever happens in that fight, I think is going to be like the defining title fight moment. That's no disrespect or hate on any of the other title fights. They're very well made. Everybody has an incredible challenge in front of them. But I just think this one just has the most unpredictability involved. And then finally we get to the headline of the card, Conflict 31, which, by the way, guys, don't forget, tomorrow, Poor Larry's in Savannah. You can go to the weigh-ins and you can check out all these guys, plus an amazing prelim card, see it in action, get a look in the eyes, how they're standing up there on the stage. You know, I always felt hosting weigh-ins that, you know, you could get kind of a sense of where people were at, where their head was at with how they answered their interview questions at weigh-ins, and, you know, how their presentation was on the stage. So make sure to be there for that. But we get to Robbie Collum, 5-0, undefeated. Guy's had probably one of the most successful out-of-nowhere amateur MMA careers in 2015. You know, Robbie Collum went from being like a guy that we heard about, to a guy we saw fight, to a guy that was getting pretty impressive, to now this fighter that we have now that seems like he's becoming the complete package. You know, for a guy with so much wrestling background and not even half as much, not even close to as much striking background. The guy has amazing hands that are constantly improving. They're pretty heavy. He's got great cardio. He's got a solid chin. He's very smart. He comes from an elite camp of martial arts thinkers, and I think that's a huge thing, which is going to play well because he's taking on Johnny Williams, another guy that I consider to be one of the most intelligent fighters in the game as far as their approach to fighting and training. Johnny Williams is a great guy, and he's smart. He goes in, good hands. He's a submission guy. He's got amazing grappling, and his hands are always improving. Over there with Moose and Corbray, CTC, you can't be a part of that team without your hands getting better every day. So, you know, what I see in this title fight is, I think we're all going to be surprised. I think on the outside, if you look at it on paper, it looks like two grappling, wrestling, grinding based kind of guys who are going to fight each other that may have some strikes in it. You know, of course, certainly will. Every fight starts on the feet. But I think what we're actually going to get is the opposite. I think what we're going to get is a slugfest. I think these guys are going to go to the wrestling when it's time to kind of hit that resort, or maybe even hit that reset button, or maybe when they're hurt. I just don't see either guy using the grappling as their main theme. For some reason, this headliner feels like we're about to see a lot of hands, a lot of kicks, and a lot more stand-up than people are thinking. Will it end in a KO or TKO? I don't know. The fight itself, Colin versus Williams, still screams at me submission for some reason in there from somebody. But going into this fight, what I truly feel is that Johnny Williams and Robbie Collum are going to throw a lot more leather than people are thinking. And I think it's going to end up being a talked about fight as we get into the of the year awards. This fight has, I know I say, you know, every fight has the potential to be fight of the year. Of course, it's conflict. It's just what we do. But this fight really does have the potential to speak volumes about what the Fight Club series has done, you know, for this region, for Southeast MMA. You know, I look at the Fight Club series like the Ultimate Fighter show. You know, guys come in here, it's all Ami, and we've watched guys go from having their first fight and a handful of fans to somebody like Robbie Collum, who's had most of their growing fights in this Fight Club series, and now they're at a title fight. You know, there's a lot of full circles being completed at this card, and I think that this fight is going to speak volumes about what the Fight Club series has done for the MMA community as a whole in the Southeast, and especially in Georgia, South Carolina area. So bottom line is, man, get your ass over to conflictmma.com. If you're on Facebook, go to the Conflict MMA's page there. You can quickly find the event page, which is chock full of interviews and radio shows and spotlights and coverage of the card. Tons of these fighters. We've got a lot of information on the title fights. And there's also something out there where you can actually vote on who you think is going to walk away with the Conflict Gold this weekend. That's October 24th, going down, Fight Club series in Hardeeville at the Music Vault. And have yourself at Poor Larry's, downtown Savannah, for weigh-ins tomorrow night. All this on both days kicks off around 7 o'clock. Jared Williams, Andrew Stokes, or Eric Ellison, we bring you the best MMA around. These guys are going off and doing big and amazing things. And really, with these title fights here, you know, I think this is your opportunity to, for a much cheaper ticket, get to see some fighters who are really going to go make splashes in the future in much bigger realms. You know, UFC tickets are a lot more expensive than Conflict tickets, and you can be one of those people to say, hey, I remember when this guy won this belt or defended this belt before he was the UFC champion. So, you know, on behalf of the ocean back there, you can kind of see it right there, and myself and all the beautiful things out here, man, I really wish I could be there. You know, our Eric is always there in spirit. We're always covering these fighters. War of the Words is in the house because we're in here, and that's what Conflict's all about at the end of the day. It's about the love that we have for the sport. It's about the love we have for these fighters, these fans, and these fight nights that we create, not for us, but for you, because that's what it's about. It's about you. And so Conflict 31, man, get yourself there. It all starts tomorrow night at Poor Larry's. I'm our Eric Ellison. Conflict team, Conflict life.